Yes, hi there. I know the city manager is pretty busy these days. I just wanted to leave a voicemail for him.
Okay, sure. Do you mind holding for just a moment?
No worries, thanks.
Thank you.
Mail message for Darrin Atteberry. Please feel free to leave a message. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Darrin Atteberry. Finally reaching you at this point. My name is William Montgomery. I can be reached here at 970-825-4421 or 970-412-5463. We need to talk. And if you don't want to talk, I'll gladly continue on. But up the chains here, I'm given as much good faith as I can. So, a couple problems in your city here. I'm a hometown native, born and raised here, been following things for quite some time. You guys have a homeless discrimination lynch problem. Racism, bigotry, and most definitely, let's put it this way, defendant lynching. Basically, we have caught cops regularly now, to the point where we're stinging them, not going through their elements. And basically, once they see a homeless guy, they lose their shit. A lot of times, we have found out that these are places that we call them sweep spots. Basically, places outside of your jurisdictions, places that are outside of your statutes, that homeless people are getting picked up regularly and not knowing their rights. And so when we got picked up there, we know our rights, we exercised them, and we won. And so there's a park curfew eviction or trial that we won from 11/03 of 2015, where you guys tried to ambush us outside of a park. We offered a map. You denied that. You offered your map, or you didn't show us. You said save everything for court. Well, we went to court, and your cops literally lied. You literally lied in front of everybody to try and say that we were in a park against their own body cam footage. So that's really bad. That's a felony right there. Attempting to influence, so forth and so on, submitting false documents for recording, perjury, you name it, whatever. I'm not really. That's just a drop in the bucket. Up the chains. Here you go, Darrin Atteberry. You need to deal with this, man. Or if you don't, then oh man, I can't wait to get this out to the public because I think they're going to care about it. Occupy Jefferson. You guys removed us all off of a sidewalk. You went, and as Sergeant Giddings said, you guys went to the Parks Department because you thought you had some boundary issues, which, by the way, you're supposed to just go to your patrol vehicle. There was no boundary issues. GIS had a very nice map of Jefferson Park. But nevertheless, you guys went to the Parks Department. You incorrectly got a map from the Parks Department, Bud Bradyhoff there, and you claimed that it was a curb-to-curb boundary map. I didn't even have a legend on it. Basically, he lied in court. He said that he didn't talk to any city manager or city attorney. When in the streets he did. Basically, he tried to convince the jury that this was the official source for boundaries and that the Parks Department was the official source for maps. And all I did was say hearsay, 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 the entire court process. And you guys ignored me the entire time. And now you ratified that the Parks Department was the new boundaries for parks. And I lost that trial. Unlawful conduct, 175M2688 or 2608. I also appealed that, and what do you know? The district attorney, Clifford Rydell, also buzzed the complaint of hearsay and said, nope, the Parks Department's the official source of boundaries. And so, basically, you guys ratified that. Now, I've gone back to the Parks Department a long time ago, before the trial, after trial. I talked to Bud. I have my audio. I talked to Mike Calhoun. I talked to Steve. They all deny that that's the official source of boundaries, and they definitely are claiming that's not park, that Linden Street sidewalk. So you have an opportunity here to exonerate me, or basically go down forever for ratifying that you guys don't know plat law, minor amendment, or right-of-way law, so forth and so on. And so I'm just going to hold you to that fire now, too. I'm going to go on to City Council. I'm going to go to the public, to the literally public, and say that Parks Department's the new source of boundaries over here because that's what I lost the trial over. Okay, so moving on. By the way, you just need to deal with that. Just literally arrest a bunch of people. It's retarded. And if you don't want to, that's cool. I want to throw you under the bus too. See if you're corrupt. My whole goal here is to go bowling, so to speak. So if I can take as many corrupt people out as I possibly can, sure. I got the DA on this one, so forth and so on. I would be glad to see if you were next. There's a lot of people that say you're corrupt, so here's your chance, man. Okay, moving on real quick. Last one. This one's gonna really bankrupt you guys, and you're probably the only one that's gonna be smart enough to stop this railroad, man. But there's a fence that went up around it. Oh man.
Finish your recording after the tone.
Oh man, this is a 2-for-2 email or voicemail. Yeah, you definitely got to hear about this one. You're the only one, so I'll give you a call right back. One moment here.
To send this message, press pound or hang up. To mark it, your message has been sent. If you would...
Thanks for calling City Manager's office. This is Gigi. How may I help you?
Yeah, hi there. I got cut off leaving my voicemail. I just wanted to finish it off. Could you send me on to Darrin Atteberry's voicemail?
Sure. Hold on just a second.
Thank you.
Let me just get back to my desk here. So,
Darrin Atteberry, please feel free to leave a message. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Darrin Atteberry, it's William Montgomery again here. 970-825-4421, 970-412-5463. All right, moving on. Real quick, just to throw this in there. If you look at case number 15CR1706, that's a really big one, and that's a really ugly one. You are totally screwed on that one. If you actually just go look at the affidavits, if you go look at the police reports, you guys are actually literally trying to trump up a citizen's arrest attempt over tickets, which never happened. Literally. Not in the audio. No, nowhere. Sorry. Never did it. And so the statements, and I have a brother as a witness too, throughout all the events. But basically, Mike West lied and convinced Giddings to trump up some attempted influence charges off of another threat that wasn't even present in the park, and so forth and so on. Oh man, you guys are just stupid. I just have to explain that in one word. Just stupid. Whatever. I can go to trial over that. It's an objectively reasonable threat. I didn't even say quit your job or you can lose your life. I said quit your jobs or you can quit your jobs and probably save your lives. And I clarify with the lives, it's like your jobs and stuff, your livelihood, not go to prison, stuff like that. The exact opposite of what you guys are trying to frame me for. I'm political hyperbole. Have you ever heard of it? Moving on. This is the doozy. This is the one that really pisses me off. This is the one that you are personally now the next guy in line. So, are you ready for this, Darrin Atteberry? A homeless hate crime fence went up around some fences, or some benches, east side of Safeway, one month, January of last year. Do you recall that fence? It's a chain link fence. Around that east side of bench area, Safeway. Well, that bench area is public land. It's a 100-foot right-of-way. You guys have a 143-year-old plat online in your city docs website. You have available there for it. You have your actual city maps, your GIS. It's very simple. You have a Robinson Pearsall plat as well. You also have the definition of right-of-way, 1742. And you also have a 2384 when a fence goes up without a permit. And you also have minor amendment concepts too there. So a fence went up in the right-of-way, non-controversially in the right-of-way, but without a permit. No one did anything about this fence. My brother and I decided to call it in, talk to the city manager or city chief construction inspector Robert Mosby, and we have audio of that too that we're still waiting to release. But he said, yeah, there's no permit for that. Went ahead and sent the takedown notice. We also talked to Ted Shepard about it later on, so forth and so on. Lots of people in the department. Rick Richter, another Steve, so forth and so on. Obviously here, no controversy. But here's where it gets juicy. I jumped that fence that night and provided this takedown notice. Your police officers lied, said that I never mentioned anything about right-of-way, said that it was only Safeway I was talking about, said they had probable cause to consider me trespassing on private property. Private property that's the next nearby 460. So you got to understand, man, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that any number of possible things could happen, and that I'm protected because it's a sting. It was actually a fake sting for real cops, real sting for fake cops. And so the only possibilities is I'm either not trespassing behind a fence that's in the right-of-way that doesn't have a permit, or I'm trespassing behind a fence that's in the right-of-way that does have a permit. No permit here means no trespassing charges. And since we're dealing with public land, and you guys said private property, no probable cause there. Sorry. It's really easy. An objectively reasonable person would have used their maps that night, would have used their statutes, would have used their definitions of right-of-way, would have used their plats, and there's no mistake. So real quick, moving on. Your dispatch I have on audio multiple times, always considering that private, fighting me over it. But then I have audio of Kinsman over here, a cop, that says it's public. But then I have audio over here, Kinsman, that says he can't answer that question because now he knows that I'm in a lawsuit, so he's lawyering up. But then I already have audio over here of David Kays saying that that at one point in time there was a case and that it's over and that the city knows that it's public now. So he's admitting that it's public. So basically, it was a railroad. It's a sting. I actually want you guys...
You are approaching the maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
Oh my gosh, I actually want you guys to go ahead and do whatever you possibly can to not drop this case, because that's racketeering charges. You're live kidnapping me, and I knew that going into it. So, good luck! You're over! You guys are done for! Man, I wish voicemails were longer.
To mark it urgent, 1. To play it, 3. To re-record it, 4. To add to it, 5. To discard it, 6. Recording.
No way, this option gave me...
You have reached the maximum length for a recording.
Dang it.
To send this message, press pound or hang up. To mark your message has been sent. If you would like to try an extension, you may do so now. Goodbye.
If your
Hey,
home rule,
sorry, just trying to make another call.
if your home rule infringes on people's constitutional rights, it's not a fucking town.
No.
Hey, might as well give the KKK their own town.
Thank you for calling the city manager's office. This is Gigi. How may I help you?
Hi there, it's me again. Just have a couple more seconds I needed to leave on the voicemail. Could you transfer me back?
Yes, hold on just a second.
Thank you.
You've reached the voicemail message for Darrin Atteberry. Please feel free to leave a message. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
What's up, Darrin? Sorry, I'm not much for voicemails. They're limited in time. I get cut off easily. But I'm almost done, I promise. I just have I really, really needed to get this last pieces of information to you. Like I said, you're the guy now. You have access to more information than anyone else at this point, and more context, and more perspective. And that way, if you deny this, if I get all this information to you, and you still think that there's a case in there for trespassing, that's my sting. I can't wait to take you out too. So, real quick, adding up all the facts here. It's a right-of-way. A fence went up without a permit. No minor amendment ever even got started. Eventually, minor amendment 160002 got approved there.
6 months later.
Like 6 months later. After, by the way, another fence went up illegally. The orange one. We got lots of evidence. So basically, we have audio of Robert and Ted and Kinsman and Murphy and David Kay's dispatch. Oh yeah, audio of the business owner, Nelson Klein himself, the actual property owner and property manager. Before he knew who I was, I got a little juicy out of him. He even denied that that was his property. He said the property line runs along the building as well, because that's his land. He kind of knows that. I have audio of of cops moving homeless people along there and banning them. So I have if you look up the dispatch record for 460 South College, it's got like hundreds, maybe even thousands of calls attached possibly to that location. A lot of them trespassing, a lot of them welfare checks. Mine's in there. When I looked mine up, it looked like it was in trespassing. So it's an easy way to field your calls and basically to do a reverse investigation if you guys really want. That's what my sweep spot is that I was talking about. We have proof here that you guys have been illegally taking people there for years. But also, too, we have audio and video of other officers illegally moving and essentially kidnapping people out of that area. We have Officer Hopkins. This is one that I called the next day. I called in that orange fence, not to the cops or to the Robert Mosby, because I already talked to him that there was no permit there. I called the cops though, because there was this guy inside that fenced area. Cops show up, remove the guy. I come talk to him. Hopkins says, "Well, yeah, it's a fence. They're fenced off because they're working on it." Hey, there's no permit there, guys. So. But anyways, we have these things called ghost protocols that we pull with all of our cases to show that you guys defame and discriminate and don't go over your elements. And it's actually a ghost protocol for you guys because you don't treat rich white people the same way. You don't treat yuppies the same way as you do homeless people. So real quick, I had actually called in to dispatch, and I'll get you the audio and video for that or pictures. But basically, after Occupy Jefferson was over, and it was just regular park again before it got closed, we called in a bunch of pizza box enjoyers in the park. And the cops showed up and removed the people from the park. Said they can hang out on that sidewalk, though.
And even gave them a warning and didn't ticket them.
He even gave them a warning, didn't ticket them. And of course, I called back and I'm like, "Dispatch, what's going on?" And dispatch was like, "Oh, dude, that's city property." Like he was actually rather insulted. So the whole point here is that you guys have a problem with your due process, and you always like to move forward so that you can retain your what looks like probable cause, so it doesn't look like you basically thugged people and picked them up illegally, kidnapped them and false imprisoned them, and cover them up and so forth and so on. And so we already have all your ghost protocols. We already have Robert Mosby. Already know that's public. Dispatch already addressing other people. And what you need to know real quick here before we run out of time is my brother and I got ran out of your town, and we went down to Denver. And what do you know? We picked up, I don't know, 30, maybe 40 more incidents. 40 more incidents.
20 more trials.
Like literally 20 more trials. 8 jurisdictions. Every single one of them, no elements being met. Gladiator Pit, they show up.
Acting the same way as your Fort Collins police, and we won every single one in Denver.
Yeah, so we won every single one in Denver, and we started, we've found more stings, actually. So, more fake charges. So.
Also, same thing, sweep spots and not going over elements.
Yeah. Oh, and the worst part is, every time we complain, we go to internal affairs, and what do you know? They ratify the illegal behavior of the police.
Approaching the maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
Anyways, we catch them ratifying the behavior because they don't want to admit that they did wrong, and that's what you guys are doing here. And all we have to do is hold you to that fire because eventually the public's going to get both sides. They're going to get all the audio of us, and then they're going to get all the bullshit from you guys. And so, if you want to work with us, you can help clean this situation up. If you don't, it's over.
To send this message, press pound or hang up. To mark it urgent, 1. To play it.
Good luck, Darrin. Peace out.
4. To add to it,
as your city
your
manager,
message
if
has been
not,
sent.
honestly.